Trump administration cutting $2.2 billion to Harvard University to go along with the $400 million they cut for Columbia, the $1 billion they cut to Cornell, and the $790 million they cut to Northwestern. So what is next? Why are they doing it? And how are people reacting? All right, so we've been following this story. And I don't know why I am so intrigued about this whole thing about Trump, the administration, let's just say, but I'm going to say Trump, cutting all the money for different reasons to all these universities, okay? And the reasons are pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward about why they're doing it: to combat anti-Semitism. Okay, number one, they're also doing it to remove the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI form of it. Also to stopping people from wearing face masks in order to protect their identity while they're at protests. Typically, the protests are anti-Israel, pro-Palestine. So the reasons are obvious, but the reactions are what really are getting me, because it's sad in the same way of it's a good thing overall that I think, okay? So I'm thinking about all these people that are scientists, that are doctors, PhD doctors, that are doing all this research stuff. And they're like, all right, what are you trying to do with the world? And they're like, we're trying to better the world. We're the forefront of the United States. And we have all these great plans and ways to help the community and the world itself. And I'm just thinking about it, a bunch of professors that have never been outside of a campus. They've basically been in academia all their life, no idea how to raise money, no idea how the working man, affords taxes, and just wants money. And, the big headline in the News Sentinel here in Knoxville is Trump's university fight hits science. And I'm like, all right, okay. Science. They're trying to go through all the list of stuff that they're doing right now. And I keep thinking like the private sector, the private drug companies and everything else. I mean, how do they primarily get most of their money? And how do they build their companies? And how do they offer, life-saving drugs to the community, the world overall? And it's like, all right, do they get federal funding too? And how much? And the idea was Harvard. So I'm reading this now, America's oldest and wealthiest university became the first institution to openly reject a series of changes from the Trump administration. The whole idea, if you read truth between lines, is Harvard wants to remain independent. They don't want to be taking lessons from the government or do anything. We're all right, fine. If you want to be independent, then stop taking our money. It's as simple as that. Don't take the money if you want to be independent. But if you want the money, these are the things you have to do or not do. And hey, I don't think it's that bad to allow students to be safe when they're across our campus. I was reading a few things, but one of the things it said is the critics among the faculty and student groups say the measures are designed to chill speech and that campuses should be a place for freedom of speech and academic thought. Okay, that's a good quote. Yeah, that sounds great. Freedom of speech, all that stuff. Well, what about the Jewish kids, the Jewish students that go to school that are being harassed just for being Jewish? That's a problem. They're students. Their voices should be heard. They shouldn't be locked out from going to schools or even crossing campus or even going to certain areas on campus that they're not allowed to now because they're Jewish. That is pretty horrible. And you look at all the things, the anti-Palestine people that, you don't talk about October 7th and the attack they had on Israel, but you're able to do all these things behind a cloak of darkness. And you're going to be able to allow your students to cover their faces. And we don't even know if there are students. You got to think about that too. A lot of people have been proven that they're paid for or not students of the university, running around campus, face masks. Who knows who these people are? And they're causing trouble. So reading from a doctor, and this is a Dr. Donald Ingber, Harvard scientist. Ingber says he knows of the postdoc applicants are now turning down research positions that they have accepted because they are afraid to live in America as foreigners. They are turning to China or Europe to carry out their work. Okay, well, they're carrying out their work. So in other countries, meaning the United States is not paying for this research? So you mean other countries and other places are able to pay for research that the United States doesn't have to pay for through taxpayer money? Seems like a win to me. Hey, congratulations, great. Research getting done, world's being saved, United States isn't paying for it. I'm not sure where I see the problem with this whole thing. We're not the forefront, okay, fine, but it's still getting done. And then there was this private company, and I think this is interesting. So Noam Ross, executive director of OpenSci, a nonprofit global initiative that supports open and Reproducible research is helping lead the creation of a database where canceled grants and contracts are listed, culled from scientist reports, notifications on government websites, legal cases, and news reports. Ross hopes the scientific community can use this information in legal battles or to better make its case in court of public opinion. Okay, so you got a group of organization that's saying, hey, we need to fund all of these problems. The government needs to do it. The government needs to pay. The government should be the person to do it. Well, that sounds like a great thing for like a GoFundMe page or a way to say, hey, we need private money. We need this research taken care of because it's this important. Don't you want to pay for it? Please give us more money. That sounds like a private institution. You think that would be a good thing where private people could say, yeah, that concerns me. I want that disease or that thing, a capability expressed or fixed or found a cure for. I want to give money. That's another win-win I see right there. Why is the federal government got to do it? If your research is so important, why don't you want to have the public fund it voluntarily? That sounds like a great thing. So congratulations to OpenSci. So it's OPENSCI. So look them up. That might be something you want to invest in because hopefully all this private money that's not taxpayer funded is going to go to that in order to fund all this research. Win-win. Again. Okay, so other thing I'm looking at, the way the article closes that I'm reading is this notion now that the central government is going to control every aspect of the research is how we destroy that. It's how we will make China great. It's going to have long-lasting effects. Okay, so here's my issue is central government, the government of the United States, the Trump administration, is not controlling what you do. They are funding it. It's a big difference. The other stuff that's happening on campus outside of your research is different. The government just saying, fine, we just don't want to do this. We don't care that you're researching this certain thing, but we're not going to pay for it because of all the other issues that are happening on campus. That's it. That's all it is. If you don't like it, you don't like what the government's doing, it don't take their money. Find a different way. Get off your campus, go out into the real world, figure out how real scientists make money in order to fund their research, and go trying that. Stop begging the U.S. taxpayers for money. That's that moment where I get excited. I'm like, no. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I keep reading between lines to find the truth. Between the lines.